again, welcome back to what is going to be the second episode of the Before I Go podcast. And in keeping with the theme and the spirit of this, this podcast is a place to say what you wanted to say before it's too late. And as my mentor Jeff's mum would say, people don't share what they really wanted to share until they're walking out the door. So I'm not waiting for that. This is the second day in a row that I've done this, and I'm taking the opportunity now to share what I want to give to my kids and my wife in case I don't wake up tomorrow, and hopefully down the line we'll be able to get a few more on. So while this is for Amanda, Jay, Georgia and Taylor, for the rest of you who are listening, please listen to this as if I am also speaking to you, because I spend a lot of my time and my beautiful life with the four people I just mentioned before. But at the end of the day, one of the things you will come to know about how I see the world now is that I am not alone in this at all, and neither are you. So this is as much a message for my family as it is for you, if you can let go of the thought that it's exclusive. So here we go. Take what you want, keep what you may, and leave everything else behind if it doesn't help or serve you well. So the big thing for me is I have no idea when or where my kids and Amanda are going to listen to this. It could be in a week's time, it could be in 10 years' time. So I'm doing the best I can with what I know right now. And hey, if I am about to enter a different space or exit stage left, then so be it. Here it comes. So this is what I want to say, and I hope I get plenty more opportunities to say a bit more. For my wife Amanda, for Jaden, Georgia and Taylor, I love you, and I am always with you. No matter what you might believe right now, I know that is true and absolutely unbreakable. I've had a whole bunch of ups and downs in my life, and you've seen plenty of them. But one unfailing, constant truth that I have is that I love you so much, and nothing can ever take that away, even when my body is gone. So it's taken a bit of work to get to that point and understand that my voice and my warm skin and bones and flesh won't be here forever, but there is something much greater than just this temporary house that I'm lucky enough to be in at the moment. So I am with you always. Another thing, I share this unashamedly from an inspirational source that I got from Sid Banks, because it's true to me at least, is I am only ever one thought away. And you can realize that now. You can recognize that if I am still alive, while you're going about your day at school or wherever you may be, you can recognize that all it takes is the incredible power of your mind and your thinking to recognize that I'm with you. So I am only ever one thought away, and everything you actually are looking for is only one thought away. The power of this love for you that I have is bigger than anyone or anything, and you carry that deep within you. It's more powerful than my words. Even if I couldn't speak right now, I know I could give this to you. And it's deeper than emotions, and it's bigger than our bodies, and it goes beyond beliefs. It's more permanent than memories, and the space that I love you in, and will do so until the end of time, is home. That's what home is. I love this. I just had to pause the podcast temporarily to go and welcome my family home as they came through the front door. So there's no coincidence that as I was speaking about what that word means to me, and really the true understanding I have now of what it means to be home, that four incredible humans just came through and gave me a big hug and a kiss on the cheek, which I'm very grateful for. So look, one thing that has made more and more sense to me, that I hope each of you who are listening find, is that you are always home. And there are times when I've heard that word, and I've heard it 1,000 times at least, but in the last couple of years, there is something about that just speaks to my soul, and sometimes it really makes me feel grateful and I cry tears of gratitude because I know what home is and what it means now. And I mean that you are always home right now, and I am here with you, as much as you may not be able to come and give me a hug, but just by your listening to this, I am with you. Something that is huge to me, and I know I have heard so many of these little sayings and words before, and I'm sure everyone listening has as well, but I see this differently now, that true love has no boundaries. If there was one thing that I could try and speak about, I'll do my best, but to understand unconditional love in its fullest sense is nothing short of a miracle. And that's where I now understand love to be. It's in a place where there are no conditions. And I created and was taught many different stories about conditions that need to be met in order for me to be good enough, and in order for me to be valuable enough and worthy enough of love. And all of those things were not true. I'm sure in later podcasts we'll talk about them, but if I have put anything in the road of me loving another person, even what may seem as insignificant as my thoughts towards them, then it's not love. If I have to require you to be or do or have anything other than who you are right now in order for me to love you, then that's not love. Those are conditions. And true love is unconditional. You cannot put boundaries on it. Even me trying to describe it is, at the best, it's a whisper of what it might be. So as I said before, none of this stuff that I'm sharing is mine, which is good, because then I can't really give it away. But I mean this because the things that are created and the wisdom that's been planted in our souls before we were born is one of the greatest things to discover. And I really do understand this as well, which is the insights that you may have, the new thoughts that could be created by you, and the new way that each of you can see and perceive your realities are born of insights, and they are absolutely true to the word in this instance, that they are a sight from within. You know, that's where they belong. So I say this to my family: if you feel lost or alone, or frightened or afraid, or you're just tired from searching, I understand. And I mean this so deeply. Please know that you already have everything that you are searching for. Let go of your old thinking and beliefs. You have the answer within you. And that answer is what many people will call God. If it helps to provide a compass, let insight guide you. And it's not going to come from the outside in. It will not come from what I say, and true insight won't come from external stimulus. It's not in books that you read. It's not out there at the highest mountains. There is nowhere outside yourself that holds a greater guide or way of living than what you already have. You absolutely have everything you need to be able to know that you are loved and enough. I want to encourage and not give advice, because I was led to understand that people don't take advice, and it's true. People will either listen and make up their own mind, or they won't listen and they'll still make up their own mind. So I offer this up as something that has been really useful for me, and in time it may become useful for you. One of the most profound insights that I've had, that I know you will experience at some time, is the illusion of separation. You have never ever been separate, and I understand sometimes you may feel that way, and that is useful, just as it is to understand that the darkness doesn't hold light inside of it, right? It's good to understand what it feels like to be separate, but it is an illusion, and you are never ever separate. And just as I am never separate from you in true spirit, so are you never separate in me. In body, yes, right? But we are so much more than our bodies, and we are much more than our thoughts. You also have innate health, and go and explore and find out for yourself what that may look like. But innate health for me is the understanding that who I really am and who you really are cannot be harmed, because you are much more than your thoughts and your body and your emotions. Innate health is exactly what it sounds like. It is the remarkable life-giving force and capacity for you to know that you are whole and well and loved. And every human being was born with it. And we use our thinking and we make sense of our experiences to cloud that up and to create a story that goes in the face of that, and it's not true. It seems that way. The only thing that will make you feel like you are broken is the thought that you are broken. That's it. You're going to experience pain and suffering, and you probably already have, and you're going to have dark hours and days and years, and it's all part of the loving design. Have a look at the seasons. There's a huge clue in them to look at the design of building and growing and more, and then less and less and less, and they're both beautiful. There's so many clues to this. Just listen and you'll hear them. Just open your eyes long enough and you'll see them. I now understand what is meant by the biblical phrase. And again, for everyone listening, whatever you find truth and love and hope in, you go for it, right? You listen to it. I really don't care what religion or faith or idea of spirituality or God you have. If it holds you closer to yourself and other human beings, go for it. For me, I understand this concept differently now, which is fear not, for I am with you always. We make fear up in our minds. It doesn't exist unless you decide to create it using the power of thinking and free will that you have. Nothing can transmit fear outside of yourself, inside of yourself. It's 100% created by you based on how you see your situation and your reality. So God is saying, fear not, for I am with you always. Don't fall into the trap of thinking that you are separate. It's impossible. You can't. You might buy into the story and the feeling for a little while, but sure as the sun is going to come out, you'll realize that you're not separate. I implore you to go beyond what you think. It is my thoughts that I have carried through time that have shrunk God down, and so many of us do it. You've probably picked up a story or a narrative or a teaching that ascribes to God a gender and a skin color and a type of clothing and a tone of voice and a character and a nature. We have made God into our image and have shrunk God down so much that the word does not mean what it really, really signifies. Whatever you think God is, forget it. Start fresh every single day that you are lucky enough to breathe. Let go of what you think about God. It is our thoughts that shrink God, and it is God that helps us let go of our thoughts. Go deeper. I have 3 things that have come to me and stayed with me over the past couple of years, and as with everything I'm sharing and the people that I invite onto this podcast to journey with me, everything everyone shares, take what matters to you. Take what is meaningful and helpful and useful to you right now, and forget everything else. If it's only one phrase or one word or one piece of silence, a tiny moment, an emotion, whatever it is you see or hear that helps you and serves you well, take it and leave everything else behind. So I offer this up with no expectation that any of this is what you're going to believe or even seek to understand. But hey, maybe one day you'll drink from the same cup. I don't know. So these are the 3 things that have stayed with me over the past couple of years. And I am still like a child, discovering every day the depth of what this means, and I invite you to do the same. So here they are. This is the first thing. The only thing that separates us from the love of God is the thought that we are somehow separate. That's it. The only thing that separates us from God is the thought that we are separate. The second thing that broke a lot of my beliefs, but I have leaned into it and with it and walked with it, is this: that the pathways to God are infinite. Now, I was taught and I was raised in a culture and society and a religion and a whole bunch of circumstances that said there is one way and there are conditions that need to be met in order for you to find God. And it's not true. The pathways to God are infinite because God is like that. God is infinite. There is no one way, and yet paradoxically it will all be one way. Every religion and faith and every human being is looking for that same thing. So the pathways to God are infinite, both in terms of the capacity for you to recognize that you are God, and also infinite in that there is nowhere to get to. There is no end. There is no destination in all of this. There is no place that is out there or anywhere but here, because grace is now. God's love is now. The pathways to God are infinite because the idea that it is anywhere but where you are right now is an illusion. There are no 1,000 steps to take. God is here. And should you be kind enough to yourself to let go of yourself, you will recognize that heaven is here as well. You may glimpse it. I've seen plenty of it. And I'm very grateful for that. The third thing that I've come to realize, and I'm still being gentle enough with myself to accept, is that I am love. I am that which I seek, and what I say becomes my reality, and what I think becomes my reality as well. And I understand what God means when it says, I am with you always. God is love. This is the strangest thing because I've heard it so many times. It's just why I keep saying go past the words. But it hit me 18 months ago. And I just stopped in my tracks and I got it. God is love, and love knows no conditions, no boundaries. Nothing can hold you back from recognizing that that is what you are. And from that place you create, and you create the most incredible, thought-defying, experiences and moments of grace and gratitude and love that you can. Every faith is pointing back to this same thing. The second thing within this whole chunk of insights that I now appreciate is that God is inside you. There's a whole aha pond that I jumped into that helped me understand the inside out reality to how our experience of being human works. And God is inside you and you are inside God, which means love is inside you and health and hope, they all reside inside you. Nothing can make you feel anything. All of your feelings and understandings and electricity and connections are created from within you. And the reason this just makes sense to me now is that if God is everywhere and all things, which I know to be true, then God has to be in and of you as well. And the way that I look at my fellow humans, to know that they are God, are the most incredible articulation of the most incredible. Is to know that I am not separate from them. How can God be everywhere and of all things and before all things if God is not with and of you? Every human being is God's love. Walking miracles, rolling miracles, I don't know. Look inside. It sounds like a cliche, but it's because everyone is looking outside themselves for something to tell them that they are of worth and value. And the world will continue to hand you so many things that seem like they are denoting your worth, and they are all going to fade in the fullness of our understanding that you already are what you seek. You are already whole and loved and beautiful, just as you are. God is within, and so too are we within God. Every other human being and you. The only thing that keeps you afraid of recognizing that is the thought that that is not possible. It's a thought, and it seems real. The last thing I want to share is just, there's so much, so let's not try and cram it all into this one episode, but heck, if this is it and I fall into an incredible sleep, I want to go out with at least a good chunk of the cookie that you can nibble on. So here it is, beliefs. So much of what I'm doing right now is helping myself and other human beings let go of beliefs. And I have finally got something that's simple for me that may be simple for you. The first thing I want to explain that I now get about beliefs is a belief is nothing more than a thought carried through the illusion of time. Every day you have the choice as to what thoughts you put your energy into, and you have the choice as to what thoughts you let go. And the more repetitive energy that you continue to pour into a single thought, the more that becomes a belief. And you'll start to get the sense that just because you can continue something, again through the illusion of time, that it's going to be somehow true, and it's not. Your beliefs are as up for grabs as creating anything you want in this life. So here's how I handle beliefs when I can finally see them, because most of them are buried and you don't even realize you're operating by them. This is it for me. If believing what you believe allows you to love you unconditionally and allows you to love another human unconditionally and allows you to get a glimpse of what God's love is, then believe it pour your fire and your water and your life and your energy and your awareness into that belief. Allow it to let you connect with yourself and others and what God has created for us. But if you believe something that causes you to feel separate or alone or disconnected or afraid or worthless, don't believe it. Let it go. You have absolute God-given creativity to notice and let go of beliefs that are not serving you and the incredible humans that you are lucky enough to be alive with right now. If it allows you to love yourself and another, keep believing it. If it causes any separation at all, let it go. Let go of the beliefs. And eventually you are going to come to a place which is beyond words. One of the closest I can share is just this simple phrase that I've heard 1,000 times and not really heard it, but I hear it. Be still and know that I am God. I love you. And that can never be broken, because true love is God. And I'm very grateful for it. Thanks for listening to a few more things before I go. Thanks so much for listening and sharing this space with me. I really, really hope this has served you well, and it continues to do so for years to come. I love helping others, so if you would like to experience the power of creating together, please reach out to me. I'm here to help. And if you want to be on the podcast and leave a legacy, check out the contact details on my website, lyndenrochford.com, or you can find me on Facebook. I'd love to hear your story before I go. Wishing you so much love from the inside out. I'll see you soon.